Willis Report is covering your assets today. You ask most families, and many will say it's mom that holds the purse strings, but it's often a difficult task. My next guest says knowing your money profile is a surefire way to get a better handle on your funds. Manny Dykewald is the author of Influence: How Women's Soaring Economic Power Will Transform Our World for the Better. She's joining me now from San Francisco. Maddie, welcome. Great to see you.
Great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Now, you did a lot of research for this book, and I think one of the most interesting findings, I want you to talk to me about this. Younger women are more worried than older women about usurping men's roles. Help me understand.
Yeah, that's really was a very interesting one to me, too. It seems that when women have a little bit more experience with life, they get a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more confident, and they're not quite as worried about hurting a man's ego in terms of the relationship when it comes to money.
And you also say that older women are less likely to think that being competent with money makes them less attractive to men.
That's right. Women who are older and have that experience have gained the wisdom that, in fact, being savvy around money actually can make them more, not less attractive to men.
All right, so you broke up personality types into 5 different types for women and sort of described their patterns around money, starting with the alpha female. Describe that to me.
Okay, well, first, keep in mind that there's 5 different profiles, and I don't like to overgeneralize, but we found that most women agreed that they fell into one of these profiles. The alpha female was the most confident of all of them. And again, these profiles are determined a lot by our behavior, the way we feel about money, the way we defer or do not defer around issues related to money.
So, Maddie, I would think,
feel about money.
Maddie, I would think that alpha female would mean you're the leader, that you're calling all the shots, you're planning the 401k, you're deciding what the vacation budget is. Is that what you're talking about?
That's definitely the most confident of women in terms of the profiles is the alpha female. She behaves a lot the way you would expect a sort of alpha male to behave, frankly.
Right. Let's talk about the perceptive planner. That's next on your list. What do you mean by that?
Well, about 1/3 of all women fall into this category, so it was the most populated of all the personality profiles. And this woman likes to mull things over. Very empowered, very analytical, but sometimes mulls things over just a little bit too much.
Power partners.
The power partner is someone like myself who really feels like 2 brains are better than 1, likes to share the responsibility when it comes to finances, really tries to have what their own money priorities be in sync with their partners. And it may not, by the way, just be a husband. Could be a business partner, could be a parent, could be a brother or a friend.
All right, so, you know, women are always being criticized for being too emotional about anything, much less money, and you have a category that actually represents that.
That's right. In fact, there are 2 categories that are very emotional around money and, in fact, not very empowered around money. One of them is what we call the supportive traditionalist, and this is sort of the de facto way most women used to behave around money, deferring money decisions to men. And the other one was the uncertain searcher, and the uncertain searcher is very confused around money, doesn't know very much about money, and doesn't even know where to turn for advice around money.
You know, I think that women nowadays know more and more about money, and they're more concerned about money. They think ahead further, they plan more. Did you find any generational differences?
We did find some generational differences, but one of the more interesting gender differences that we found was that women were much more security-minded when it came to money. When you asked women what was the best thing about having money, they said having financial peace of mind, whereas men said it was having freedom.
A Porsche probably is what they're thinking of.
Yeah.
Was there anything in your
Toys
research?
for boys.
Was there anything in your research that spoke to who invests better, who is better at handling their money over time, men versus women?
Well, you know, again, I don't want to overgeneralize, but it does seem that women do seem to get better returns when it comes to financial investments than men. They don't move their money around quite as much. They don't take as many risks. And over the last several years, we've seen that that actually spells success in the marketplace.
See, I knew that was true. You know, I've had this argument a number of times, and I always think women do a better job. What is the secret that women need to learn, though? When you look at all this research, you've talked to all these people, you really have a feel for how women interact with money. What's the secret sauce for them?
I think gaining some confidence, which means gaining some education and some knowledge. Don't be afraid to ask questions, and don't be afraid to talk to a financial advisor, someone who can help you actually get smarter and make sound financial decisions.
Maddie Dykewald, thanks for your help today. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Coming up, Americans now owe more on their student loans than on their credit cards. Next, I'll give you my 2 cents more on this very scary trend.